Hey guys, Analog Man here for another deck profile, and I'm actually doing something a little bit more special today because this is one of my favorite Digimon. As you can tell from the mat, this is an UlforceVeedramon deck, and from the title, actually, you can tell that it's an UlforceVeedramon specific deck. But it's not just any specific UlforceVeedramon deck that you might have seen before, where it just OTKs or uses the new starter deck one. This one, actually, I discovered it by accident on Digimon Meta, where it's essentially a prototype hybrid build for Ulforce, because Ulforce is one of the few Digimon at the moment that can just unsuspend itself continuously depending on how many tamers you have. And in BT7, the reliance on tamers and the searching for tamers is much, much easier because of all the new cards. But coincidentally, we already have all the tools. It's just we haven't noticed it until now. So this deck is really crazy, so I just want to show you it immediately. This is my actual second build of it already. My first build was actually really fast. The only thing it really lost to was red OTK, because um, most rogue, like specifically my friend, he runs like a weird like Black War Greymon kind of build, the promo Black War Greymon that can Digiburst and unsuspend itself continuously. Every other version of red, it seems to have actually a pretty good matchup against it. It's just that specific one where it can swing multiple times in one check. That's a little bit harder. But let's just get into the deck profile. So we only run 4 eggs, and they are 4 BBmon. Yes, in this deck we do run yellow. It is a blue-yellow build. The yellow is essentially just there to help you heal and kind of stall for game while you kind of set up your tamers and your Ulforce essentially. So that's all the eggs we use for the deck. Let's actually get into the rookies. So for the rookies, we only use 3 Salamons. If I had another extra, I would use another one. The rest of my Salamons are all in my security and other decks, essentially. But 3, honestly, isn't too bad because you will see it enough to the point where you will heal almost every match at least once with this. And of course, helps poking. Poking in security is also very nice. In this deck, we don't really poke until we get our setup, but with how the deck works and how many memory boosts we actually run, we usually are guaranteed a All-Force once we have everything set up. But yeah, that's all the rookies we run. The most Digimon we run, honestly, in this deck is the level 4s, which I will show you in a second. We run 4 Cordramon because, of course, on play, through security or just hard playing it, you get to draw 2. And it's a free level 4 on your field, which will help you level up into Ulforce. So having 4 of this is crucial because it does help you draw a lot, and it helps you set up a level 4 on board on their turn. Then we run, of course, this being a prototype hybrid deck, we run 4 Lobomons because he is a 2 cost and you can evolve him on any blue tamer, which is very nice. Then originally I was running 4, but I reduced this down to 3 to fit in some certain techs. I'm running 3 Kendogarumon, so essentially we have about 4, 8, we have 11 level 4s that can essentially be easily cheated out in certain ways. This one's through security, and these ones through tamers. And this one is really cool because it does have a separate effect where it can return a level 3 back to hand. This actually helped me win a game in one of the test matches I did with my friend. It was actually really cool how this thing worked because it actually managed to survive the swing into security and get rid of a rookie. So I just evolved it into a UlforceVeedramon and unsuspended it. But yeah, we run exactly 11 level 4s. It might seem a lot, but since this is based in a kind of like a hybrid build, like how it's based on in the future, this is actually not too bad of a number. This is where we go into our level 5s. For level 5s, we run 3 of the new starter Arrow Veedramon because, of course, it has jamming, and when you have 8 or more cards, the UlforceVeedramon will gain security +1, which is really nice. This guy is really cool because if you combo him with certain tamers, he can actually poke for pretty high, and the fact that he has jamming, he's pretty much safe against anything big. It's mainly just options, but you don't really care if he dies anyway because you can just rebuild into him anyway. Then we run 3 of the old BT2 Arrow Veedramon because this thing is really cool, especially since no matter what, you will have a blue tamer most of the time. So this will always be live. Its effect is when digivolving. If you have a blue tamer in play, you can unsuspend one of your blue Digimon, including himself. So you can just untap him and swing again. Or if you already have a level 4 out, like a Quadramon, and you evolve for 3 cost onto this, um, you can unsuspend your UlforceVeedramon and basically swing another time, basically. Also, the fact that anything that it evolves into, if it unsuspends, you gain jamming. So this is crucial when you're swinging with Ulforce Veedramon. You basically get to give it jamming no matter what, which is really cool. But that's all the level 5s we run. We run exactly 6 to kind of thin it out. But the thing is that in this deck, you will be searching these and these really fast and easy thanks to the other cards. But yeah, let's get into the main guy of the deck. 3 UlforceVeedramons. This guy is really gross and really powerful. The fact that his untapping effect is not once per turn as long as you keep tapping blue tamers, and the fact that once per turn you can gain a memory, so you can actually use this to set up a ice wall or something, because this deck is EX1 ready, which is why we do run ice walls in this deck, and this helps set up another ice wall. It's very nice. Yeah, but we only run 3. I was running 4, but there were moments where I just could not see him, or he was just stuck in security, so I kind of reduced him down to see if I could fix that. It's actually not that bad at 4, but 3 I kind of think would be a little bit better. That's where we are done with the Digimon. This is where we go into the options and the tamers. For the first options, we run, of course, 4 reinforcing memory boost. Gotta abuse this card before it gets limited to 1. So we play 4. This card is super good. Helps you set up your board. Helps you search out everything essentially in the deck. Um, and yeah, it's just an all-around really gross card. Then for our blue options, we run 3 ice walls, of course. Before this card gets basically limited, we abuse the crap out of this card until it goes to 1 as well, because it's just so good leaving your opponent at 1 and making it so they have to swing and give you memory. Plus, if this is hit in security, you gain 2 memory, so it's basically a hammer spark in security. So very nice card and all around really solid card. Then we run 2 Howling Memory Boosts because this actually helps stall out the game. And, of course, it's a memory boost, so you can gain that extra 2 and potentially go into both Arrow and Ulforce together in 1 turn, which is really nice. Then for the red options, actually, kind of, this is how our build is going. 2 Delicate Plans, because the only thing, and I mean this, the only thing that Ulforce loses to in security, because it already has jamming from this, is basically any option card. So having this to kind of stop that, because it does specify just one of your Digimon, as long as you have a red source or a red tamer to activate this, your Digimon can negate options, which is really nice. Then we also run 2 Wyvern's Breath because we do want removal. These 2 are just mainly to take out anything that's huge on the board so that you can start swinging next turn. And yeah, that's basically all the options we run. We run a mix of yellow, blue, and red now because originally I didn't run the red, but I wanted to tech it in specifically to deal with option cards, as I mentioned. And it seems to be working out pretty well. This is where we get into all the tamers. We run a lot of tamers because this is a prototype hybrid deck. So let's get into it. First, for the blue tamers, we run 4 Sora and Joes. This card is amazing, and it gives you extra memory, and it helps you get rid of sources. So stacking these is super OP because you could just wipe their sources, and that actually hurts red a lot. We run 3 Davises because it's Davis. He searches any blue card, any blue Digimon. So having him at 3 is also very nice. At 4, I feel like he might break a little bit. So keeping him at 3 so you see him but you don't always see him is really good. Then we run 3 Renas to search out the Veedramon stuff and boost our Ulforce so that it at least can go up to 12 to 13 possibly. Then we run 2 of the V-Tamer tie, which also gives a boost and helps you draw whenever you attack with any Veedramon. And then for the last 2 Tamers, we run 2 Tai Kamiyas because this one is a red card to help activate our Delicate Plan. Plus, it gives our guy an extra 1,000. So combined with these 2, you're basically boosting him up to at least 14,000 and trashing a lot of stuff with jamming. So very nice. But yeah, that's basically the deck. We run about 4, 7, 10, 12, 14 tamers. So we're guaranteed to see tamers no matter what, even in our security or in our hand. Basically, we just want to turbo out our tamers as fast as possible, and then in that process, also set up everything else. But that's just how the deck works, honestly. As I said, it is a prototype build that I'm working on. And as you can see, it looks very similar to of a lot of hybrid decks that are coming out in BT7, and I feel like honestly, you should honestly give this deck a try because for me, it's actually giving me practice into figuring out how to play hybrids in the future. Because in testing, hybrids are very weird, especially if you haven't played red or blue hybrids as much as me and my friend have. Um, Working like basically adapting to having so many tamers is kind of like how people used to play Shine Greymon. For anybody that's played Shine Greymon, you know exactly what I mean. Setting up the tamers and having to kind of go at a slower place before you start gaining benefits off of it. That's kind of how this deck works. So against certain red decks, it is a little bit slow in setup, but thanks to the other cards, the yellow and the reds and the blue cards that help kind of stall, you can potentially keep the game going while you set up your board. And I did do that a few times, which is proven that it does work. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, but I highly recommend trying this deck out because it's very fun. It's very fast too, and the fact that, as I said, it gives you practice for BT7 for playing against hybrids, because hybrids are going to be the new meta once that hits. So, getting used to it is honestly, I feel, a very good idea. Plus, I mean, who doesn't love Ulforce? Like, this guy is really awesome. His deck was probably one of the all-time favorites back in BT3, next to Imperial Dramon. The only difference is that Imperial Dramon is a little bit easier to set up while Ulforce was not. So that's the only difference. But if you get the setup right, it's really good. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share this really quick deck profile with you guys because honestly, I found it and it's really a fun deck. Honestly, like I loved playing it against my friend. Even when I lost, it was really cool just seeing how this deck worked. Um, Aside from that, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment, like let me know what you thought of this deck, honestly, because I'm still kind of workshopping this deck and I want it to be really good, as good as my Security Control, my Machine Dramon, or my Beelstar decks. I want this to be just as good, and hopefully maybe it can even last until BT7 and beyond, because with new hybrids, this deck could honestly get better and better. So anyway, yeah, thank you for watching and see you guys next time.